morning. We had some people out sick, not with the coronavirus, but just out not feeling well. So, anyways, here we are. I'm not going to dance for you. Jasper said he didn't want to dance either, so we're just going to get right into the lesson. So I know a lot of people, are doubting kind of what God's got going on, what the plan is, just what's next, and we don't really know whether the world is in shambles and so much chaos in it like it is right now, or a time before where everything seemed to be going good. God's plan never changed. He didn't know what was next in life, anyways. So it's always been up to God's plan. So, anyways, when I got to think about God's plan this week, I immediately went to the story of Moses as a baby, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. Go ahead, Jasper. So what's up? It says God has a wonderful plan. All right. He has a wonderful plan for me. Like I said, it may be hard to see sometimes, but God does have a plan, and yes, it is wonderful. It is our job to pray and to ask God to expose that plan to us. That way we can see it moving forward. But sometimes He does not. Okay. So the power verse is in Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." Okay. So God lays out good plans for us. It's usually us that mess them up whenever things turn bad. It's because we've done something bad and we've strayed off of the path He has laid out for us. It's not that God lays out a bad plan for us. He didn't lay out a bad path for us. It's us that gets off the path. That's when things go astray. All right. So the story of Moses. It happened a long time ago. He was a Hebrew baby at that time, and they were living under Egyptian rule. The Egyptians had a leader, a president. His name was Pharaoh. He was a leader of the Egyptians, and anyways, there got to be so many Hebrews around that he was worried. Man, if they ever decided to try to fight us, I don't know if we can win. There's so many of them that I don't know if we can beat back the Hebrews. And so he said, "All right, I got an idea." So he went through and he told everybody to kill every baby boy, all right, every Hebrew baby boy. And so they did. The soldiers went out and they started killing the baby boys. And anyways, Moses' mother, obviously she didn't want that to happen, and so she kept him hid for a while, which worked there for a little while. But then once he got bigger, he couldn't be hidden anymore, and so she had to do something. And so she took him to the river and she put him in a basket, just like a woven wicker basket, and she put him inside of it, closed the top on it, and she pushed it down the river, hoping that basket would get past, the Hebrew soldiers the Egyptian soldiers, and it would get, over into another new country or new area where somebody would find it and be able to take care of Moses. But what she didn't know was that the Pharaoh's daughter was downstream bathing, and all of a sudden the basket come down the Nile River there. She picks it up. She sees that it's a baby boy, and the whole time Moses' older sister was paralleling, which is walking beside the river. She was walking beside this basket as it was floating down, just making, she just wanted to follow it and make sure it was as safe as it could possibly be. The Nile has crocodiles in it and stuff like that, and she just wanted to watch over Moses, her little brother. And anyway, so she sees all this happen, and she sees that the Pharaoh's daughter picks up the baby, and she knows that she's going to take care of the baby. And anyway, so all of a sudden she runs out of the bushes there beside the river, and she said that her mom she said, why don't you let my mom take care of the baby for a couple of years, and then once she gets older, we'll bring him to the palace for you, where he can live in the palace. And anyways, Pharaoh's daughter said that's a good idea. And anyway, so Moses was allowed to go and live back with his mother and his sister, but now at this time he was protected by the Pharaoh's daughter, whereas before he was a target for the Pharaoh. A few years later, once he got big enough, they took him to the palace, and he ended up living in the palace until later on in life. But God's plan. Moses' mother did not know, that it was going to go down the river, and she didn't know. If you ever seen, National Geographic or Discovery, there's huge crocodiles and stuff in the Nile River. One of them could have got it. Somebody could have seen it and just said, "Oh, I don't want a baby," and just pushed it on further down the river. So you just never know God's plan. She didn't know God's plan. The Pharaoh's daughter, she didn't know God's plan. And the only one that knows God's plan is God Himself. And unfortunately for us, sometimes, and it does get frustrating at times, is He don't expose that plan to us, until the plan's over. Sometimes. So you never know what's going on as far as God's plan, though. But you do have to trust that He does have a plan for us. Okay. God has a plan for you. One more time. So Legos. If any of you ever play with Legos or any kind of, if your parents get furniture, they got to assemble. If they go to IKEA, where you got to assemble everything. You have a plan, okay? You have an instruction manual, all right? Legos. You wouldn't just take off and say, all right, I want to build a house out of Legos. You got a laid out set of plan. If your parents get furniture, they don't just say, well, I think you put the legs on first, when in fact you might put the side panels on first. I don't know. But everything you do has instructions. Okay? Everything you do has instructions and has plans. God is the same way. Everything we do has instructions in the Bible, God's laws that is written in the Bible. Those are our instructions. And then you got God's plan, which is separate from the Bible, but it's God's plan for each and every one of us. Okay? Go ahead, Jasper. God is protecting you. Okay? It may not seem like it right now, because you got a lot of people in this world sick. You got people that are fighting and rioting and tearing down statues and all this other stuff. It doesn't seem like there's much protecting going on right now, but you are being protected, whether you realize it or not. Just as God protected Moses that day he was pushed down the river. God knew the sequence of events. He knew that Moses was going to go down to see the Pharaoh's daughter, and the Pharaoh's daughter was going to have, was going to love him, and she wanted to keep him. And he knew that before Moses' mother ever put him in the basket, God knew Moses was going to end up back with his mother later on. So the same thing is today. Yes, the world is crazy right now. But guess what? The world's been crazy before. There has been cities destroyed before because they were so evil. God flooded the earth one time. The earth was so evil and so bad that God flooded the entire earth and killed everybody on it except Noah and his family and animals. So you cannot sit there and tell me that the world is the worst it's ever been, because it's not. But what we've got to do is we've got to get it turned around right now. We can't wait any longer. We've got to get it turned around right now. God is placing you where He wants you. Okay. If you'd have told me I'd have been standing in front of a camera talking about God's plans just a few years ago, I'd have told you it's crazy. I mean, God's gonna get his will done. If he don't get it done through you, he's gonna get it done through somebody else. But make no mistake, God will always get his plans done. He will always have his will done. Okay. So the best thing to do would be to be quiet, be still, read your Bible, pray, pay attention. I've talked to you before about being awake. Being awake is not just having your eyes open. Being awake is having your eyes and your ears and your heart open, and paying attention to what's going on around you. That is what's being awake. Right now, we've got to wake up. There are a lot of bad things going on around us, and we've got to wake up and stand up, and we've got to get it corrected, or God's going to do something about it. Okay? God's going to do something about it. But just always remember, God has a plan for us. I know the coronavirus and everything else is crazy right now, but it's here for a reason. I don't know what reason. Jasper don't know what reason. Brother Benny don't know what reason. Brother Bridges don't know what reason. President Trump don't know what reason. Nobody knows the reason except for God. Okay? And since he's the only one that knows why it's here, shouldn't he be the one that's laying out the plans and the one that we're trusting in? I mean, nobody else knows the end game except for God himself. And so he's the one that we need to be trusting in. So hopefully here in a couple weeks we'll get back to normal. Was disappointed that we wasn't able to see everybody today. We weren't able to start back today, but hey, that's just part of it. There was a reason. Me and Jasper are here this morning. There's a reason everybody else is where they're supposed to be. So, anyways, until then, stay safe and looking forward to seeing everybody.